Hi everyone, how are you guys? How is everything going? It's been long since I was last live. I even feel a bit insecure, but I hope everyone is doing okay. So, hi Jessica. So today I just wanted to come here and talk about my latest blog. If you haven't yet, please go check it out. It's about the connection between sustainability and spirituality. So I'm just basically talking about the fact that when we go to church or to the mosque, they don't tell us they tell you charity begins at home, love thy neighbor as you love thyself, all of that stuff that they tell us. Yeah, but in most cases they don't tell us the how. They don't tell us the how does that apply in a great scope of things. You know, how can someone use that to do business better, to be more sustainable, to make better decisions? So it's most about the preaching, don't do this, don't do that. But then when it comes to like real life of execution, you have no idea what you're supposed to do, and we end up being part of a system that is actually against our beliefs or our norms or values. So in this blog post, I'm talking about the connection between sustainability and spirituality. For example, I will give examples of why your spirituality should dictate the way you spend money. For example, if you see that a cow is being mistreated, or if you see the process of which the process of obtaining leather from a cow, then you start to understand that, okay, me making this decision to buy this leather intensifies the demand, meaning another cow has to be killed or, you know, reared just for their skin. And you have to keep in mind, like, if the more people want leather, the more cows that will be skinned. So what does that say to your religious values if you understand that fact? You know, so you have to keep on working backwards. Another example I gave in my I don't want an accident. Another example I gave in my blog post, which you can check out, the link is in my bio, you can go check it out. It's the fact that, okay, leather, we have to look at everyone involved. I'll talk about fashion, you can talk about whatever industry, you can disseminate you can dissect how this applies to your industry, how spirituality applies to sustainability in your industry. But I'm only going to talk about fashion because that's my industry. Forgive my lighting, it's not enough, but my voice is what's important. So with that being said, for me in my field, there are so many players in the fashion industry. There's the designers, there are models like Jessica, there are designers like me, there are consumers like you, there are stylists, photographers, magazines, movies, Hollywood, everything, like farmers, the people, the tailors, factory owners, the couriers, the ones that are transporting the fashion. All of that stuff matters. So once you start dissecting and understanding what role you play in each, you start to understand how your decision is valid, like in a greater sense of things. You know, if one person's decision affects another person's decision and another person's decision, that becomes a whole collective consciousness, if you understand what I mean. So if you decide to be like, I'm going to use my brain. And then again, in my blog post, I talk about the illusion of choice that has been placed to us, you know, and that's how we end up, as you might be spiritual or religious, but then you end up being like the biggest consumer of all these things that are not good, that are like, first of all, if you look at the workers, you'd have to ask yourself, how many people were paid for me to have what I'm wearing? How much cotton needed to be grown for me to wear this? How much fuel needed to be spent for Korea for me to wear this? And then then when you ask yourself, what brand is this? What are their laws? What are their values? What are their, you know, am I really supporting something that's good for me, like that's beneficial for me, or is it harmful to other people and only beneficial to me? And in turn, you begin to actually have the real power in your hands to make decisions using your choices, as opposed to those choices, the illusion of choices that is put in front of your face to make you believe that, oh, I have a choice because I'm free, I'm a free human being, I have a choice. But then the choices are put in front of your face. You cannot have a choice when the choices are put in front of your face. You have to look inward and understand, okay, what do I need for myself? I love fashion, everyone loves fashion, we all love to look good, we all love to look our best and stuff, but what has it done? Considering in my blog post, again, I talk about, like, yes, the whole world, human beings have always been part of fashion, all the way back when we started wearing animal skin and all of that, but since we've evolved now, as we say we have evolved, we should have better options or more cautious decisions that help us, so if the spiritual realm, which is the religions and the churches, don't explain consumerism, overbuying, impulse buying, and that stuff is left to no one. Actually, no one is explaining such stuff because it's a capitalist world, and the more I advertise to you, the more I will get your money, and no one faces the consequences apart from Mother Earth, really. And Mother Earth includes me and you, not just, it includes the whole system. So someone will be suffering because you've benefited, which is okay, but at what extent? And at what extent has that decision caused like a great divide, meaning between the rich and the poor? If you say, I need this 100 carat, let's say 100 carat or whatever, I don't even know how to measure those things, but if you say, I need this kind of jewelry, like I need ice, I need a rock and stuff like that, especially Black people and African Americans that really dive into this jewelry sensation, if you start to think, we have blood diamonds, they are blood diamonds. If you trust your diamonds and try to find out how they were obtained, I think you'd make a different decision. And you find that many of these people go to church and say, we love God, which is okay, but then how do you apply that church, that church teaching into decisions whereby you say, I'm not going to buy, like, for example, I'm not going to buy a burger because it's not good for my health. So what is the church teaching in the end? What is the mosque teaching in the end when you can't even make just that simple decision, that cautious decision that is for yourself, which in turn is a spiritual decision? Because again, what we eat, we put out. If you're eating bad stuff, you're going to put out bad stuff to the environment, meaning our poop will not be any benefit to the environment and all of that. So again, in my blog, I'm talking about all of this and enabling people understand that the choice is within. You cannot find choice when you're looking at Instagram, because you're going to be you're going to be bombarded with a plethora of choice, and that is not choice in the end. Just because you have a bunch of stuff to choose from, it doesn't mean that's choice. Choice comes from within, for you to make a decision and say, hi, today I want to wear red, I need to have something red, and what does that represent, or how is that going to help me? As opposed to dictating to you that you need to have, let's say, for example, a waist trainer. Yes, for example, me, I wanted to buy a waist trainer even though I'm not even big, just because it was marketed to me, and I wanted to buy a waist trainer. But what's the life cycle of a waist trainer? What's going to happen to this waist trainer 20 years later? You've wasted resources. It was only a short term. So I want you guys to see how spiritual those decisions are. People might not understand that they are spiritual, but they are spiritual. So in turn, those small spiritual decisions that we make dictate our economic decisions and how we conduct businesses, and again, in turn, it dictates how the law is affected. Like how we behave makes, if we are crooks, if we are a society of crooks, then our lawyers are going to be crooks, then the way we source our materials is going to be crooked, everything is going to be turned the other way around. So with that being said, please go and check out my blog post and subscribe to my blog, and I'm sorry, I'm very fast. I don't want to spend so much time on Instagram Live, and I'm getting used to coming, and I will be coming more often. But yeah, thank you for listening to me, and have a nice evening. If you've learned something, share or whatever, and I'm happy to have picked your brain. So have a good evening. Bye. How to end this stuff? Huh? How do you end this live? Oh my God. Thank you. But please, you just joined, but I'm trying to see how I can end the live. Damn. Okay, this is creepy. Oh, yeah. You guys, you just joined. Okay, let me briefly talk about what I was talking about. I will talk about what I was talking about quickly. Please go check out my blog. My blog is talking about the spiritual side, the connection between spiritual side and sustainability, and how our decisions, our norms, our customs as religious people, so we call ourselves, are not really put into practice when it comes to sustainability and the greater scheme of things, whereby Mother Earth is now crying because of our decisions, and we only cram, oh, love thy neighbor, oh, do this, but then we don't understand how we are supposed to apply those things in real life, and how we are supposed to effect real change and make sure that we live good. You know, the end point is having the best human experience we can ever have. So if it's our decisions that have made us be here, where everyone is anxious and everyone is, does not know where we are going, then it's time to go back within and make better decisions, and make a better road for our kids, than what our parents made for us, I would say. Okay, you guys, bye.